repealed and repressed the Local Government Act of 1991. That meant that the local authority was positioned to undertake the interference of projects at district level. Given that, Madam Speaker, you find that there have been a lot of instructions to local authorities. No, use only 20% of the recapitalization fund to do this. And recently, we saw that councillors are supposed to be paid through the same funding. So at what point do we expect the local authority really to perform to our expectations, especially that they have all these things that are surrounding financial challenges? Madam Speaker, there was also the issue of local suppliers. Because of lack of investment in most of these rural areas, the local suppliers are also not upgraded. You find that sometimes just even to generate an invoice to give to the local authority, it is a problem by local suppliers who provide goods and services to the local authority. Because the local authority has to depend on those that are in a particular area. Madam Speaker, when we look at that, the issue of fiscal autonomy. The issue of fiscal autonomy, especially for local authorities, goes as far as connecting the local authority using decentralization as it has been envisaged in the Constitution and in the Local Government Act, so that the local authority becomes as a platform for revenue for other government agencies at district level. But that is a miss. And it's a miss because we have not followed our own laws. And it's a miss because we are not making efforts towards that direction. Madam Speaker, when we look at what we are expecting from the local authority, I know that there is a lot of balloting when different council secretaries come and they face, on a lighter note, they face the chairman there, Mr. Honorable Nyambose. They are balloted. Sometimes we even over things that logistically we can just, logically we can simply say that they do not fall under their ambit. So, Madam Speaker, what I'm just trying to underscore is that let us facilitate, let us fund the local authorities to the tune where they are in the position to respond to these issues that we expect. We expect them under Annex C of the Constitution to even be in charge of ferries and many other. Madam Speaker, I'll pick an example of Chilubi. There was a Ruche that was bought 120-seater. Expected constitutionally that it's a local authority that is supposed to perform that particular duty. So, Madam Speaker, in short, yes, they are highlighted in the report, and I think I'll be unpatriotic not to support the report, but we have a lot of things to do, especially following our own laws. That will help us, Madam Speaker. I submit.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Kanyama, please be advised that it's not a must to exhaust all the 8 minutes. You can go ahead, Honourable Member for Kanyama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for yet another opportunity you have given me to add a voice. Madam Speaker, if you look at these government institutions, they are designed or created for a purpose. And this purpose is service delivery to the benefit of the people. Now, how do they operate? It's through processes, rules, guidelines that are put in place on how these will be directed. But what is challenging is the fact that despite all these rules, guidelines, code of conduct, but we still receive negative responses from institutions like the Auditor General's Office. Does it mean there's lack of supervision in these institutions? Or where is the problem? Or is it that even those that are mandated to do to conduct these supervisory tasks are not performing according to their ability or according to the needs of the people? It's so sad to start hearing of the same issues arising from each and every government. What is it that we're not doing? There are issues that, findings that are coming out from your report. A market fails to how possible? The ablution boxes that are in these markets, Mr. Speaker, when people go to use them, they pay a fee, of which that fee needs to go towards the maintenance of the same. And I believe these ones who are managing these ablution boxes are employees from the council. So where does the money go? I want to say we are unable to maintain this ablution box. It's something that really needs to be looked at, critically. Madam Speaker, I just want to refer to the conclusion of your report. The committee expresses concern that councils were having challenges to mobilize locally generated revenues and observes that this was simply because of lack of innovation, proactivity to come up with income-generating activities. Madam Speaker, this conclusion reminds me, we've had these so-called green buses under the local authority when our former late President Michael Fasata was Minister of Law Government. He procured those green buses. The question is, what were they for? How did he mobilize monies to? I believe there is a policy through which those were acquired. So there are some of the issues that we have got a history. Let us look at where we are coming from. How have you managed some of these institutions? And where are we? If we are failing, what is causing all this failure? So for me, I would ask these local authorities to be innovative. These are sustained by whatever activities which they conduct. So we go back time immemorial. Let us get these policies, bring them on board. Let us look at them, fashion them to meet the current prevailing environment. And by so doing, Madam Speaker, some of these challenges of lack of funds for this, lack of funds for that, because they are innovative, they have got some activities which generate income from here and there. I think, Madam Speaker, will be heading in the right direction where people won't be complaining. Like I mentioned, Madam Speaker, these councils just need to be innovative. Let them be creative. Let them come up with systems how they can generate funds other than those systems that are there where they are trying to source funds here and there. Madam Speaker, with this few remarks, I wish to support the report. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for according me an opportunity just to briefly comment on your report, Madam Speaker, the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Before I proceed, may I take this opportunity to thank the mover of this motion, the MP for Chasefo, and also the seconder, the Member of Parliament for Mandevu. Madam Speaker, every year in, year out, your committee brings these reports in regard to the performance of local authorities throughout the country. And these reports are the same. Poor performance of local authorities throughout the country. And meanwhile, these local authorities are supposed to drive the decentralization agenda. Now, if these local authorities are not able to perform efficiently, even now, service delivery to the people becomes a compromise. Madam Speaker, the local authorities, we know the challenges local authorities are facing. Today, we can talk about innovations and so on. We have local authorities in rural areas, for example, Chama, where you don't have sources of revenue. We know that in the past, in the Second Republic, local authorities were very robust because they had the steady sources of revenue. But those sources of revenues they are no longer there. They used to get revenue from house rentals, which are no longer there. They used to get revenue from motor vehicle licenses and so on. All these have been removed, and we expect the local authorities to perform. I feel that we must take radical measures. The state must find a way in which these local authorities will be able to generate resources. The estate sector, Madam Speaker, is a very lucrative business. We have a shortage of accommodation in this country. Why don't we help these local authorities to obtain even loans through government guaranteed loans and build houses so that the local authorities can have steady income? So those are the challenges we are facing. So as long as we don't take radical measures, these problems will be there every now and then. Equalization fund, Madam Speaker, it's a long time ago when the equalization fund was increased. How do you expect the local authority even to pay salaries? The chairman was lamenting here that now councils now are in arrears. Chairman, town council, you find that those in management now, they are going 4 months without being paid. Because the local government commission has employed new officers in the local authority, but without corresponding increase in equalization fund. And then we expect these local authorities to pay salaries on time. So there is a need to increase equalization fund, otherwise the challenges local councils are facing will continue. Madam Speaker, we have local authorities which are rich in this country. Surely, Lusaka City Council, do they need equalization fund? Kitwe City Council, Kalumbira, Solwezi, these are rich local authorities, but they also get equalization fund, the same equalization fund with even local authorities which don't have sources of revenue. So before the local government commission can employ new officers, I think they must ensure that they mobilize resources to avoid a situation where workers go for many months without being paid their salaries, and meanwhile we want the same officer to implement the CDF. So those are the challenges. Madam Speaker, in the report, the issue of fire tenders was also highlighted. It's unfortunate that most local authorities do not have fire tenders. For example, Chairman Town Council and several other local authorities, when the fire breaks out, there's nothing you can do. So the government must have a deliberate policy and ensure that all local authorities in this country, they have fire tenders. The Minister of Finance can even zero-rate duty on importation of fire tenders so that all local authorities should be able to have fire tenders, unlike the current situation. So, in conclusion, Madam Speaker, the issue of unrealistic budgets. You find that most of these local authorities are coming up with budgets which are very unrealistic. Now we are targeting to collect 20 million kwacha, meanwhile they can only collect 6 million. So they are giving a false impression to the government that these local authorities have the capacity to generate resources when they don't have. So I think there is a need that the Ministry of Local Government should ensure that these local authorities are able to provide realistic budgets than giving a false impression that they are able to generate resources. So with those few remarks, I do support this report, but I think more needs to be done. We need to undertake radical measures if at all these local authorities will be where they were in the past. So with those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I thank you. I support the report.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Solwezi East.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to add a few words to the report. Madam Speaker, I do support the report of your committee, and in doing so, I'd like just to highlight a few things with particular interest in my constituency, and that is Mushindamo Town Council. Madam Speaker, on page 199, item 84.1, talks about favorable performance on the revenue collection. And of course, the statement talks about the local authority underperformed in terms of revenue collection and attributed that failure due to the delayed construction of the Solwezi Kipushi Road. and that prevented the shops that are at the border area, from operating in order for the council to collect these revenues. Madam Speaker, it has been on the floor of this House where I've been lamenting and requesting our government to expedite the construction of the Solwezi Kipushi Road, because that is one of our cash cow for our local council to collect the revenue that is expected to develop Mushindamo Town Council and also the infrastructure that we need. So, Madam Speaker, indeed, this was being observed and highlighted in the report. Madam Speaker, if that road is constructed, including putting up toll plazas, we can collect a lot of revenue, because right now we have a lot of vehicles, heavy-duty vehicles, that go into the northern part, into DRC. So for us, it is very, very important that that road is constructed. And I appeal to the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure to expedite the financial closure, the closure that he has been talking about, so that we can have the contractor move onto that road. It is just 127 kilometers reaching the border, but it is it has very much potential for development and bringing the revenue. Madam Speaker, item 84.3 talks about the failure to achieve targets. Your report states that 1,182 planned deliverables. Mushindamo Town Council only managed to implement 332, representing 28% implementation rate. And of course, the reason stated is lack of transport, overestimated targets, delays in procurement and planning approach. Madam Speaker, indeed, it talks about Township Road. This is just a village. This is a rural constituency. Where do we have the roads? So you find that the report is talking about this kind of infrastructure, and yet we are not supported to implement the deliverables that we're talking about. Mushindamo Town Council does not even have fire tender. The council does not even have the skips for refuse collection. It does not even have utility vehicles. So how do we expect to achieve this? And this goes to many other councils. It is an appeal to the Ministry of Local Government that these newly created districts be considered and priority given in terms of support, in terms of transport, in terms of fire tender. We have the firemen, but they do not have the equipment. Madam Speaker, the last point I'd like to talk about is item 84.4, failure to prepare an integrated waste management plan. Of course, your report has highlighted this. Indeed, as I have stated, Mushindamo Town Council needs to be capacitated. We know that devolution has taken place. Certain functions from the central government have been devolved to the local authorities, but they have not been capacitated in terms of human resource. Already the report states that there are 14 vacant positions that existed at the time of audit, and these have not been filled up. So it is an appeal to the Local Government Commission that we need these officers to be placed in Mushindamo in order to enhance the plans that we have. In this regard, the waste management plan. You cannot execute the plans when you are not equipped with the necessary tools. So, Madam Speaker, I thought in supporting this report, I needed to highlight the needs of Mushindamo Town Council and the urgent need for us to see support from the central government. Madam Speaker, I support the report. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take the last two. The Honorable Member for Chiengi and the Honorable Member for Chitambo. In that order. The Honorable Member for Chiengi.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving this opportunity to the voice of Chiengi to be heard on this report on local government accounts. Madam Speaker, local governments, that's the councils, I think they've been struggling for sure for quite some time. But what surprises me is that even a city council like Lusaka, Ndola, these municipal councils, they do struggle to collect revenue. Now, the question that is there is that we've seen town clerks, the CEOs of these councils being replaced, but we still experience the same thing. Does it mean that these town clerks are ill-trained, they're not well-trained? Because they have their school in Shalimbana, but the performance is not marrying with the education or the training that has been given to them. I feel, Madam Speaker, maybe it's because these CEOs, they come from within the system. Maybe if the government, through the local government commission, through the commission, they can start advertising for these top positions, because this calls for somebody who is business-minded to come up with ideas how to collect the money. We don't need somebody who has to be like some kind of reciting, given a document, they recite and they think the money is, or they'll be able to collect the money. Madam Speaker, we have a big challenge. These CEOs in these councils, they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. The government has contributed. And the government has contributed in the manner that they always have these CEOs of these councils always in Lusaka. I don't know what they come to do. I don't know what they come to do. Most of the time, even in Chiengi, when you call, the town clerk is not there, or the council secretary is not there. So, and the works are now left in the hands of the administrator whatsoever. When are they going to sit down, strategize, come up with business ideas, how to start making money? Now, most of these councils, like in the rural areas, they are all looking up to the CDF, but they can't even use the initiative to say, we're going to get maybe a loan and maybe come up with a filling station in places like Chiengi. If the council comes up with that project, it's a money spinner. They'll have money. They'll have revenue. But we've made them, I think the councils are spoiled because they're spoon-fed. If the government stops spoon-feeding these councils, they'll wake up, Madam Speaker. Because now it has been just like a routine. The CEOs of these councils, they wake up, they go to work to do nothing. All that they want is to sign the documents. Instead of, coming up with something that they can generate money from. If you look at most of these motels that are owned by the councils, it's a sad story, Madam Speaker. No one is even thinking of how to, just to use a bit of innovation in order for these motels to start being, at the same, some kind of standards that, with just a common lodge in the area where they are. So I think the challenge that we have, Madam Speaker, is that the jobs of CEOs are being given in appreciation to those who have spent years in the councils. It shouldn't be like that. Had they been hardworking, they would have contributed towards the ideas of innovations. So I think the Commission of Local Government should be advertising these jobs to outsiders who can run the councils as a business entity. As much as I appreciate that they used to collect taxes on behalf of, is it Rasa or so ever. Madam Speaker, we cannot allow the councils to be dependent on another institution when they can come up with even farms. They can come up with farms. They own land. They can come up with anything. But we have a challenge here, Madam Speaker, where they wait only to be, to be given money, the equalization fund, which they don't even account for because they don't even give reports even to the MPs. So this is how we've used the equalization fund. So I think, Madam Speaker, I would like to urge the House that the position of the CEOs, that's the clerks, the council, what do you call them, CSCs, and town clerks, be given to people who are business-minded, and they should be advertised to the public, to those who are going to change the face of the councils. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The last member, the Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Madam Speaker, I'm very grateful to be given this chance to add a voice to the Local Government Accounts Committee's report. Madam Speaker, first let me thank you for coming up with this committee, because this committee is working very well as a watchdog to keep our local councils in check and ensure that they do the right things. Madam Speaker, also allow me to thank the mover of the motion and the seconder and all other members of Parliament that have debated. Madam Speaker, this shows that this report had taken a lot of time, and you could tell from the volume of it that the chairman and the committee did a very good job. Madam Speaker, I took time to read on just one page, page 383, and there's an interesting story where there's some kind of misapplication of funds by Rufunsa Council, Kasama, Lunte, Lusaka City, Mambwe, and so on and so forth. Madam Speaker, my first issue is our local councils must come to accept that their capacity is not enough to generate funds and disburse them, and also to receive CDF money and also be able to disburse them in the manner that our people must benefit and be able to utilize these funds. Because, Madam Speaker, our councils now are so much concentrated on money which is coming into their accounts, which they do not generate themselves. Their concentration is on money which is called CDF. Instead of them paying attention to other things which are going wrong in these local councils, their duties are now to just look at one money called CDF and ensure that they even misapply it, actually. And this is very painful, because the local councils we knew were councils that would generate money for themselves, be able to pump money into the community, and the community be happy with their services. Today, Madam Speaker, is another different story. Their work now is to look at who is the next contractor who's coming here, what is the contract supposed to do, and how are you going to maybe somehow share with the contractor who's coming to do the work in that community. And Madam Speaker, this is not just misapplying funds, but also the kind of work that is being done in certain local councils. You discover that it is some kind of shoddy works and lack of supervision. Madam Speaker, this is not only a breach. To misapply funds is not something that people must take lightly, because I've read also the committee's recommendation. They are just recommending that they should pay back the money. Madam Speaker, are you sure you misapply funds and you take these funds somewhere else, and where you've taken the funds, it cannot be traceable 100% like this is true? And then the committee only ends at recommending that they should pay back the money, and I don't know who's going to make sure that they pay back that money. So I've got a lot of questions to the committee chairperson. I'm sure when he comes to respond, he's going to answer to my questions. The first question is, Mr. Chairman, how are you going to ensure that these monies are paid and you follow it up to the latter? Number two, who is going to see that the money that was misapplied from the projects or whatever they did has been given back in a correct form? For example, they shouldn't get money from another vote and pay back to the vote that you are questioning, and you come and question them again on the other vote, because that would just be like we are just transferring problems from one vote to another vote. And the third one is it possible that these people can be reported also to the powers that be, so that these matters are actioned and we see results, that they should learn a lesson and stop doing things which they know that these are wrong. These things are wrong. Because I know for sure that most of our supervising, can I call them managers, are aware of the rules of the financial management. And for them to be misapplying these funds, for me, I take it like a deliberate issue because they have heard Parliament talk about it, and it's becoming like a syndrome now. Why can't it be for once that the committee can recommend that these people should be forwarded to the powers that be so that they are dealt with in a manner that is supposed to ensure that tomorrow or the other time, whoever comes into that office, do not do the same. Because, Madam Speaker, if you allow this to continue, members of Parliament will start crying also that, can we have our CDF in our offices? So that maybe we can do something better than to give this money to the people that are taking money elsewhere and nothing is being done about them. And if nothing is being done about these people, they won't stop. So my cry to the chairman of the committee is, let him find another way of making recommendations so that maybe those recommendations can be acted upon than to ask a person to refund or pay back what they misapplied. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, please respond.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Minister of Local Government and Rural Development would like to thank the Office of the Auditor General for the work it did to audit the 116 local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Let me also thank sincerely the Committee on Local Government Accounts, which interfaced with all the local authorities to try and appreciate the issues raised in the Auditor General's report. They produced a quality report, and we want to thank the mover, the chairman, Honorable Nyambose. Probably this is because he is a local government expert himself. Madam Speaker, a number of issues were raised by the Auditor General with respect to how local authorities are managing the resources entrusted to them. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, which oversees the operations of local authorities, will continue to monitor and supervise the local authorities to promote accountability and efficiency in service delivery. Madam Speaker, the various MPs who debated this motion brought out a number of issues. One from poor revenue collection to dependence by local authorities on the Equalization Fund and CDF, to unrealistic budgets, to poor provision of services, to personalization of council assets, to overemployment and underemployment of staff. They raised issues on retirees' payment, to failure to pay statutory obligations. Madam Speaker, they also brought up a very, very interesting subject, the poor management of assets. And they were all agreed in their opinion that assets, particularly vehicles, the issue of insurance came up. Madam Speaker, the issue of 42 for 42 came up. $42 million for 42 tenders, $1 million for one fire tender. And some of them attributed this over expenditure to the lack of these fire tenders in many councils. Madam Speaker, many MPs also brought up the issue of, again I said it already, payment of retirement. Madam Speaker, in order to ensure that local authorities are held accountable both on the issues MPs raised, on the resources they receive, as well as service delivery, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has put in place the following measures. Number one, revenue mobilization. The ministry is working to develop and review existing policies and laws that will enhance the revenue collection capacity of local authorities. Among these laws include the Local Government Act, the Rating Act, the Solid Waste Management Policy, and the Outdoor Advertising Policy, among others. In addition to the legislation review, the ministry, in conjunction with local authorities, is also developing a revenue-enhancing strategy which will help local authorities diversify revenue sources and improve revenue collection efficiency. Number 2, implementation of an automated finance management system. The ministry, in conjunction with the Office of the Auditor General, is working on introducing an automated financial management system for local authorities, which will facilitate digitalization of all financial management processes that would make it easier to maintain accurate and traceable documentation of expenditure. 3, staff development programs. The ministry is promoting professional development through the Local Government Service Commission to improve the skills of local authority staff, ensuring that they meet the demands for service delivery. Number 4, performance management framework. The ministry is implementing a mechanism to track the progress of local authority activities against their strategic plans. This measure provides insights on their performance against the set targets for service delivery. Number 5, strengthened oversight mechanisms. The ministry, working with the Local Government Service Commission, has strengthened the internal audit function within local authorities to ensure regular checks on budget execution and prevent misallocation of funds. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, the ministry will continue to strengthen oversight mechanisms on local authorities to ensure that they play their service delivery mandate for the benefit of the people. Let me thank the committee sincerely for the valuable guidance it provided to the local authorities as well as the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development during its interaction on the report of the Auditor General on the audit of accounts of local authorities for the year ended 31st December 2023. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, working with other key stakeholders, will ensure that the committee recommendations are fully implemented. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Chasef will wind up debate.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to conclude and wind up debate. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Vice Chairperson of the committee, Honourable Shakafuswa, for ably seconding this motion, members of the committee, and also the members who have debated on this motion, Honourable Fube, for Chirubi, Honourable Fokanyama, Honourable Monti, Chinkuli, Honourable Mtachalo, Honourable Katakwe, Dr. Katakwe, Honourable Fochiengi, Honourable Katuta, and Honourable Fochitambo. Oh, Madam Speaker, I am very humble, I humbly appreciate the debates that have been put forward. But in a minute, I want also to make responses as given by the members who have debated. It is the desire of government and every Zambian, Madam Speaker, to have an effective and functional local government system. Members have lamented to say these audit queries have been coming year in, year out, and no actions have been taken to see to it that they come to an end. The committee tried its best to ensure that we make recommendations within our terms of reference. We have engaged the Local Government Service Commission, who are supposed to mete out punishment for erring officers. I'll give an example, Madam Speaker. Lunte Council. This is where officers at Lunte Council personalized cameras and laptops, which were bought using council resources, as they were transferred, they went with them. So this is a cultural thing. Who is supposed to take action is not the committee. The Local Government Service Commission, we make recommendations, they come. So these things of behavior needs to be dealt with the Ministry of Local Government and Housing. It is our wish, and we believe that the commission, the ministry will deal with those issues. The other issues is misappropriation of resources. These things are there. When you look at certain councils, as highlighted by Honorable Fochitambo, these things are everywhere, year in, year out. We bring them to public. Through your committee, madam, we bring them to public. And we expect the ministries and the commission to take action. At a certain point, we even suggested, if we were to deal with them, we amend the laws like other jurisdictions. And maybe we can deal with these issues, Madam Speaker. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, the issue of Ward Development Fund, which is supposed to be 5% of the locally generated revenue, we have ignored it. Councillors have nothing to show to their people. They are not able to generate resources for themselves and for service delivery and also for the Ward Development Fund. So, in future, promotions should be performance-based, so that when you see a town clerk, you can relate to performance. But when you see a town clerk and you look at their performance, it's dismal, it's worrying as stated. Madam Speaker, I want to conclude by thanking everyone, Honorable Minister, Acting Minister of Local Government, for those responses. I thank you. We shall continue to do our best, Madam Speaker, to bring these things to the public. I beg to move.
Thank you. I put the question. The question is that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the audit of accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 for the 4th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 29th July 2025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it, and the question is resolved in the affirmative. The clerk will now read the orders of the day.
The Lands and Deeds Registry Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2025, second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Lands and Natural Resources.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the bill which seeks to empower the registrar to cancel erroneously and fraudulently acquired titles is a very well-intended bill to help our people, rather the people of Zambia, especially the poor and the vulnerable people, including investors and lending institutions. However, as a listening government of the people of Zambia, we want to allay all fears, concerns expressed by various stakeholders. We also want to consult more widely, including consulting our traditional leaders, the chiefs, local authorities, banks, and indeed others. It is for this reason, Madam Speaker, with leave of the House, I beg to move that the bill be deferred to a later date. Thank you.
Order. Order, honorable members. Is it your will that leave be granted? Any debate? Any objection? I see none. Bill deferred. Next order.
The Superior Court's Number of Judges Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, committee stage.
The House will now resolve into committee.
Afternoon. It's a small bill.
Yeah, it's very small.
The Superior Court's Number of Judges Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025. Clause 1, short title, any debate, any objection? Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, interpretation, any debate, any objection? Clause 2 is agreed to. Clause 3, Supreme Court judges, any debate, any objection? Clause 3 is agreed to. Clause 4, Constitutional Court judges, any debate, any objection? Clause 4 is agreed to. Clause 5, Court of Appeal judges, any debate, any objection? Clause 5 is agreed to. Clause 6, High Court judges, any debate, any objection? Clause 6 is agreed to. Clause 7, repeal of Act number 9 of 2016, any debate, any objection? Clause 7 is agreed to. Long title, any debate, any objection? Long title is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee without amendment. Madam Speaker, I have to report to the House that the Committee of the whole House has gone through the Superior Court's Number of Judges Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025 without amendment.
Day for third reading.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Third reading of the bill to be taken on tomorrow. Next order.
The Border Management and Trade Facilitation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, third reading.
The Honorable Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, the Acting Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be read the third time.
The question is that the bill be now read the third time. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. Let the bill be read the third time.
The Border Management and Trade Facilitation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025.
The Acting Leader of Government Business, adjournment.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
As no notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received, I put the question. The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned.
The television business of the House has been concluded. And it's just before we end our live broadcast for today, we have a look at what has been discussed on the floor of the House from the time business started at 14:30 hours.
Yes, indeed. So when business commenced at 14:30 hours, Madam First Deputy Speaker made some announcements, and in the first announcement, she did say that she received a communication to the effect that in the absence of our Honor, I beg your pardon, in the absence of our Honor, the Vice President who was attending to other government business, the Minister of Defense, Honorable Ambrose L. Lufuma, MP, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House from today, Wednesday, 30th July 2025, until further notice.
And in another announcement, the Honorable Madam Speaker did recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Jolly World School in Kalomo District and Major Kama Secondary School in Kalomo District. And on behalf of the National Assembly, she welcomed the visitors to the institution.
And in the other announcement, Madam Speaker did inform the House that on 12th May 2025, 1 acre fund OAF donated 2,000 Musangu trees in support of Madam Speaker's Plant a Tree Challenge initiative. She stated that in order to promote this initiative in all the constituencies, it has been decided that the trees be distributed among all members of Parliament and selected staff. Each member of Parliament will receive at least 10 trees to be planted within their respective constituencies so as to promote environmental sustainability in their communities.
And in this regard, the Honorable Madam Speaker did announce that all honorable members and selected staff are requested to visit the engineering department to collect their allocated number of trees before they leave for their constituencies on Friday, 1st August 2025. So those were the announcements before the House went on to consider questions for oral answer number 80. Questions for oral answer understanding order 80. And today we only had one question on the order paper, and this came from Mr. Yota Mutayachalo, Member of Parliament for Chama North, and he directed his question to the Minister of Health, in which he wanted to find out whether government has any plans to construct a level 1 hospital in Chivale Chiefdom in Chama North Parliamentary constituency. And part B of the question, if so, when the plans will be implemented, and part C of the question, what the estimated cost of the project is, and part D is if there are no such plans, why. And in response to this question, the Minister of Health did indicate to the House that government is aware of the expanded healthcare needs in the country, and that government had plans to construct a level 1 hospital in Chivale Chiefdom in Chama North Parliamentary constituency. And when the plans will be implemented, the Minister informed the House that the plans are already underway before the end of 2025, and the estimated cost of the project, the Minister informed the House that the estimated cost of the project is $1.7 million US, and that was the question that was posed today to the Minister of Health.
Yes, indeed, after consideration of that ordinary question, understanding order 80, the House went on to consider two motions. And the first one, Mr. Twambo Mutinda, he is a Itejte constituency member of Parliament. He did move a motion, and in this motion he was urging the House to adopt the report over the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs on the report over the Auditor General on the utilization of the Road Fund for Road Maintenance in Zambia 2020 to 2022 for the 4th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Friday 25th July 2025, and this motion was seconded by Mr. Anton Kasandwe, who is Bangoyolu constituency member of Parliament, and the report was adopted.
We also had another motion that was moved by Chasefu Member of Parliament, Mr. Mishek Nyambose, in which he urged the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of local government authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 for the 4th session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on 29th July 2025. And this motion was seconded by Mandevo Member of Parliament, Mr. Christopher Shakafuso. Of course, there was a quite a number of members of parliament who added their voice to the motion that was under consideration, and after debate, the House was adopted by the House.
Yes, indeed. After consideration of those two committee reports, the House did consider orders over the day business, which was not concluded on the order paper. So the Lands and Deeds Registry Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2025, was supposed to be considered at second reading stage, but the minister standing in her place sought leave over the House to have this bill deferred, and the bill has been deferred to a later date.
There was the House there after considered the Superior Court's number of judges bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, and this was considered at committee stage and has gone through the committee stage without any amendments. Third reading will be taken tomorrow, 31st July 2025.
The Border Management and Trade Facilitation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, was considered at third reading stage and passed.
Well, so that was business that was considered on the floor of the House today, and also ending our live broadcasts today. Joe.
Yes, indeed, Pauline, it has been very exciting to be with you on set, and of course to our two sign language interpreters, Chola Kawamanda, Jason Manda, thank you so much, not forgetting everyone in the control room was making sure that you were able to follow the proceedings right here on your favorite channel of Parliament Television, the only station dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you. From me, Joe Akatama, and Pauline Monga, bye-bye and good evening.